The outbreak of the global pandemic known as COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, has resulted in many of us in South Africa and throughout the world being stuck in our homes with pretty much nothing to do. Before I get into this video, I urge you to stay safe, wash your hands, and follow the necessary guidelines to prevent the spread of this virus. To help cure your boredom, I'm here to give you the top 10 most binge-worthy TV series for you to watch during the lockdown. Please note that this list will only include series with multiple seasons, therefore shows like Euphoria or The Boys will not feature on this list. For you Game of Thrones fans out there, I need you to know that Game of Thrones will not be on this list. The main reason for that is because I'm still very salty about that ending. But anyway guys, before we get into the video, please like, share and subscribe, and let's get into it. Coming in at number 10 with 2 seasons and a third one on the way is Succession. Succession is an American satirical comedy drama television series that follows the Roy family as they navigate their lives and contemplate their futures once the family patriarch steps back from one of the biggest media and entertainment conglomerates in the world. That's if he steps back at all. His 4 children all have varying degrees of authority within the company, but as their father's health declines, they are all vying for control of the company. With an IMDb score of 8.5 out of 10 and an average audience score of 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, Succession is definitely a great place to start. Coming in at number 9 with 2 seasons and a third one on the way is You. You is an American psychological thriller television series that showcases just how far some people are willing to go for love. The first season tells a story about how Joe's crush on an aspiring writer turns into a sinister obsession that leads to him doing pretty much anything to remove obstacles to their romance. The second season follows Joe's move from the Big Apple to the City of Angels. If you thought his cycle of violence and obsession was left behind in New York City, you're sorely mistaken. This show is pretty creepy, but with an IMDb score of 7.8 out of 10 and an average audience score of 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, the show is still a great watch nonetheless. This is easily one of Netflix's most bingeable series, so I urge you to give it a go, and I ask you, please, don't be like Joe. I mean, look at how creepy this is. Coming in at number 8 with 2 seasons and a third one just around the corner, we have Killing Eve. Killing Eve is a British spy thriller television series about Eve Polastri, who is a British intelligence agent that is overly interested in female assassins and their methods of killing. This interest in female assassins leads to her chasing down Villanelle, who is a very mercurial yet also very talented killer who tends to cling on to the luxuries her violent job affords her. These 2 women equally become obsessed with each other and focus less and less on their initial missions in order to desperately seek more about the other. With an IMDb score of 8.3 out of 10 and an average audience score of 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, Killing Eve is very entertaining through being very seductive and surprising, yet funny and dramatic all at the same time. The chemistry between the lead actresses is impeccable, so I highly recommend that you watch this show. Coming in at number 7 with 5 seasons, we have Black Mirror. Black Mirror is a British science fiction anthology television series that examines modern society in relation to new technology. Each episode in this series is like a standalone film that is dark and full of satire and is set in an alternative past or present and even a possible future for the human race. The show really makes you think about how advancements in technology could transform all aspects of life as we know it. With an IMDb score of 8.8 out of 10 and an average audience score of 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, Black Mirror will leave you shook at what may be in the future and is therefore a great watch. Coming in at number 6 with 3 seasons, we have The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale is an American dystopian tragedy web television series about a world where fertility rates have collapsed as a result of sexually transmitted diseases and environmental pollution. Yeah, seems like that's where we're headed, right? The show illustrates a society that is dictated by power-hungry leaders, mostly men, and is characterized by newly created social classes where women are forced to work in very limited roles and are not allowed to own property, handle money, or read. This is a futuristic show that basically turns back the clock to the days when women had no power whatsoever. Now, what is a handmaid, you ask? Well, according to the Hebrew Bible, a handmaid is a female servant who serves her mistress. In this story, these handmaids are the last of the fertile women and are cast into sexual servitude as an attempt to repopulate the world. With an IMDb score of 8.5 out of 10 and an average audience score of 77%, the show is a must-watch for its broader social commentary. Coming in at number 5 with a whopping 11 seasons and boasting the title of being my favorite comedy series, we have Modern Family. Modern Family is an American comedy series that... Do I even need to talk about this one though? I mean, we all know how great this show is, so if you haven't watched it, I urge you to go binge it because it's really funny, unlike Big Bang Theory or other sitcoms, Friends. For those of you that haven't watched it though, it's about the blended Pritchett Dunphy Tucker clan and gives us an honest yet very hilarious look into the warm, twisted Modern Family. With an IMDb score of 8.4 out of 10 and an average audience score of 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, you need to indulge in this comedic masterpiece because it's coming to an end after 11 majestic years. I mean, just take a look at this scene for a second.
Have a good one. Oh no. Monday lunch, Monday dinner, Tuesday breakfast,
Coming in at number 4 with 2 seasons and a third one on the way, we have WESTWORLD. WESTWORLD is an American science fiction Western television series about the dawn of artificial consciousness and the evolution of sin in a world where human fantasies and desires can be indulged without consequence. Set at the interaction of the near future and the reimagined past, WESTWORLD is an amusement park meant for the rich to partake in their fantasies through artificial consciousness and engaging with robotic hosts. These hosts are indistinguishable from humans and programmed to fulfill the guests' every desire, including violence and sexual ends, but they are unable to harm the guests. The operators create narratives for these hosts to repeat each and every single day, but wiping their memories at the end of each cycle. With an IMDb score of 8.7 out of 10 and an average audience score of 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, WESTWORLD is a great balance between action, drama, and outright insanity. Before getting into our top 3, here's a list of our honorable mentions. Coming in at number 3 with 3 seasons and a 4th one on the way, we have Stranger Things. Stranger Things is an American science fiction, drama, and horror web television series about strange things. I know, the title is very fitting. The show is set in Hawkins, Indiana during the 1980s and follows the story of mysterious events occurring that lead to the disappearance of a young boy. The boy's disappearance results in his mother, a police chief, and the boy's friends needing to confront supernatural forces, dark government agencies, and one very, very strange little girl in order to get him back. With an IMDb score of 8.8 out of 10 and an average audience score of 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, Stranger Things is one of the most addictive shows I've ever watched. Some may find it scary, but many of you will find it exciting and sometimes heartbreaking. Coming in at number 2 with 3 seasons and a 4th one on the way, we have Money Heist, which is otherwise known as La Casa de Papel, which means the House of Paper. Money Heist is a Spanish television heist crime drama series about a group of uniquely named robbers attempting to carry out the most perfect robbery in the history of Spain to steal 2.4 billion euros. Not million, we're talking billions here. I mean, Stephen King watches this show. Yeah, that's right. The guy that gave us It, the guy that gave us The Shining, the guy that gave us Shawshank Redemption watches Money Heist. Another good reason to watch the show is that you learn a little bit of Spanish. I mean, the only other time I've ever watched a series that needed me to read subtitles was when I was watching Narcos, and I really enjoyed that. And I'm very picky with what I watch, so if I'm willing to listen to a language that I don't understand, you need to know that this show must be great. And it is. A quick shout out to my boy Kelvin, because he's actually the one who urged me to watch this show. So please go follow him on Instagram, DM him, like his pictures, or whatever other people do on Instagram, I don't know. But with an IMDb score of 8.5 out of 10 and an average audience score of 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, Money Heist is easily the best show on Netflix right now, and everyone should be watching it. I mean it. Every single one of you should watch this show. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, the creme de la creme of binge-worthy television with 5 seasons under its belt. To no one's surprise, taking the #1 spot, we have Breaking Bad. For those of you that don't know, Breaking Bad is an American neo-Western crime drama television series about how a high school chemistry teacher gets diagnosed with inoperable lung cancer and how he turns to manufacturing and selling methamphetamine, that's crystal meth for those of you that don't know, in order to secure his family's future. He proves to be remarkably proficient in this new world as he begins manufacturing and selling crystal meth with one of his former students. Let that sink in. A chemistry teacher and his former student selling crystal meth together. Who does not want to see that? The series tracks the impact of a fatal diagnosis on a regular, hard-working man and explores how a fatal diagnosis affects his morality and transforms him into a major player of the drug trade, with an IMDb score of 9.5 out of 10 and an average audience score of 98%. I'm going to repeat that, 98%. It's safe to say that Breaking Bad is going to go down as the greatest show of all time.
What happened?
I won.
Thank you for watching the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, as well as letting me know in the comments below what other top 10 videos you want me to do. Until next time, peace.